Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make my pumpkin bread, and this recipe is going to be for 2 loaves. So here I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and I'm using the King Arthur's flour. That is the best one for breads. We will also need 1 can of 100% pure pumpkin. And don't get confused because sometimes they do have the pumpkin pie filling. You do not want that one. I am going to show you the ingredient will be pumpkin, just pumpkin. We will also need half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and here I have 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, okay? Pumpkin pie spice has cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and a little bit of ginger. If you don't like ginger, you can substitute this for just cloves, okay? So instead you will be using cloves, cinnamon, and nutmeg, okay? It looks funny like that because I'm using half a teaspoon of each, okay? We're also gonna need 1 stick of unsalted butter and half of another one. And I use the real butter. You do wanna use real butter for this recipe because it's just gonna make it tastier. And you have to have this at room temperature. Also, I'm going to use 2 large eggs, half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, just the regular salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Also, we will be using 1.5 cups of granulated sugar, and it's just the regular sugar. And I'm also going to be using pepitas. This is to top it off. The pepitas are the pumpkin seeds. We first want to preheat our oven to 325. I'm going to start by adding all the dry ingredients to my bowl where I have my flour. Now, using this attachment from the mixer, I am going to be creaming the butter with the sugar and then the eggs. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add my butter. See how it starts getting a little creamier now? That's when you want to start adding the sugar. So just add a little bit of sugar, let it mix for a little bit, and then add a little more. And now we're going to start adding the eggs. So I'll be adding 1. And then I'll add the second one. And remember, these are large eggs. Next, I'm gonna be adding the pumpkin. Okay. And at this point, when you mix, it's gonna look like it curdles, but don't worry because it's the pumpkin that's getting mixed with all of the other ingredients, so it kind of looks funny. Okay, and make sure you get everything out of that can. You don't want to waste this yummy pumpkin. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and mix. And you want to do it at a low speed. And just do another quick mix. Then we're going to be adding the dry ingredients. Okay, there we go. At this point, you don't want to be over mixing. So I'm going to be adding the flour. And when I add the flour, I'm going to add it in just like in small batches, okay? So I'll be doing a little bit of the flour. And then we're going to mix. Okay, there. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now I'm going to be adding the rest of it. Okay. Now, very slowly, you are going to mix because you don't want this to turn into cake batter. We want the bread consistency, which is more dense. Okay, now I'm going to stop the mixer because we don't want to over mix. Now this looks great. Look at that beautiful orange color. Now I'm gonna set this aside and I'm gonna show you how I butter my pans. So I grab one of these Ziploc bags, okay? Oops, this one ripped. Okay, and I put my hand in there. You can use a regular Ziploc bag. I have these little snack bags because I get them for my kids, but I'll be using this one. And all you do is grab that butter, and it's at room temperature. You can see it's melted already. And you're just going to be rubbing it all over your pan. So you're going to be using 2 of the 8x4 pans. So here we have them ready. And now I'm going to start pouring into the pans. Okay. So we're going to do half to one and then half to the other one. Okay, and you kind of eyeball it. Eyeball it because sometimes you can put more to one than the other. So I'm just going to put this aside. Okay, I'll bring the next one. And I'll be pouring that yummy mixture in there. Okay, so now I'm going to spread. So just spread this evenly. And it doesn't have to be perfect. All you have to do is just spread it evenly. And the bread is going to rise once it starts baking. It'll even out. Okay. Oops. Okay, there we go. And the other one, I'm just going to leave it like this. You can top both off, but I'm going to do one for my kids because sometimes they're picky and they don't want to eat the seeds. So these are ready to be baked. And you are going to bake these for 60 to 70 minutes. And now I'm going to set a timer for 60 minutes. So I checked on my bread and I still have 15 minutes left, but my bread is actually fully baked and you can see how it came apart from the pan. So I'm going to be taking it out. So it did take 45 minutes for it to bake. So you grab a toothpick and then all you do is insert it, and if it comes out clean, which it did, see? That's because it's ready. Okay, so I cooled off my bread for about 10 minutes and it did take 45 minutes to bake. I'm not sure why, but check on it at 45 minutes. I did put the temperature to 325. So, yeah, just check on your bread. It's nice and brown and very moist. So using a serrated knife, I'm going to be cutting into the bread. You can have this with butter. If you want to sprinkle a little bit of powdered sugar, that works too. Even peanut butter, you can put a little bit of peanut butter or almond butter, any nut butter of your preference. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for following me, for liking my videos, for supporting. And I will see you on my next one. Thank you so much.